All right. Greetings to everyone. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're watching this recorded video. Now, for today's video, I will be talking to you about flexible learning environment, specifically on the online resources, educational sites, and portals. For the last recorded video that I had, I talked about online distance education and communities of learning. But for today, you will be identifying different educational sites and portals that is suitable to your subject areas, which you will be dealing with in your future level of learners. And later on, you will be selecting an appropriate resource portal or educational site in relation to the identified subject area. All right. So, in planning a day's lesson, okay, there is a wide range of references that can be used to relate well with learners of this age, actually. In fact, online resources, we have sites and portals, suggests tools and describes how they can be used to engage learners. Take a look at the image in the screen and identify the iPad apps and Android apps and web tools. Then, have you checked any of these or have you met any of these applications? Which one will you utilize and in which class of learners you can use them? And then the question would be, how will you employ the tool in your lesson? All right, so that is our greatest challenge then. Now, for educational sites and portals, there are a lot of information found in the net. These can be explored and studied to determine their relevance to the lesson. And of course, there are concerned parties that host educational services through websites and portals. Like a door, the portal opens to a virtual room where activities, tools, applications, articles will provide ideas and suggest ways on how to use of technology tools. One example that can be further explored in educational technology and mobile learning. Okay, actually, this kind of blog sites, this is what we call educational technology and mobile learning, is a very rich repository of tools and applications assembled and curated for teachers and educators by teachers. They evidently understand the pedagogical needs, the arrangement of categories with corresponding suggested sites or tools, and even applications for Android or iPads. We have tools, applications, edtech charts. We also have books, links, and many more, which actually be found in an edtech, or we call it as educational technology and mobile learning. Okay. What are then few of the educational sites and portals? I identified few, but these are not just the only educational sites that are being used nowadays. Number one is b-ok.org. We have Wale, or yes, no, not Wale, but Wele in online library. We also have ResearchGate. These are just famous libraries which students or learners can actually look for different references. It could be published articles, research materials, it could be books, magazines, and so on and so forth. Actually, for the b-ok.org, most of the materials there are books are hard-bounded. Okay, for the Wol or WOL library, this is most of the materials are articles and journals. And of course, for ResearchGate, most of the materials are journals and articles, products of researches. All right, so these are just very few. In fact, if you're going to look into the details, okay, for b-ok.org, this is the interface. You are just going to sign in, or without signing in, you can actually look directly the name of the book that you wanted to explore in a PDF form, or PDF form, and then later on you can actually download the material, of course with limitations. And I would suggest that you are going to explore on this website, because there is a very favorable interface into this kind of library. Another one is this WOL library. You can actually, what you're going to do is to register and then log in. After registering, then log in using your mail account. Same with your ResearchGate, and it is actually for free. There are materials that are or that has its citation, in-text citation and referencing, and even um, reference material are already found in the ResearchGate. What's good about ResearchGate, because it will give you um, a reference format of a particular material or a book, where it is already in a APA or MLA format. You're just going to choose. Okay, so I would suggest that every one of you will explore on the three libraries or three websites wherein you can get more information. And this is actually somehow will give you an idea of the students for the upcoming generation, where they can get information, educational websites that will enhance their learning. Okay, so the thing is sometimes all of these websites boils down to how these information be used and be employed in a teaching learning process, or in the learning of the students or of the learners. And sometimes teachers are or must adhere to the updates to the technology, to the modernity, as to make the teaching learning process easier, faster, and more accessible. And so what is the right mindset of a teacher in using this kind of digital tool? So, actually, with the fast paced development of technology nowadays, we have educational sites, portals, or applications that actually ever changing. Okay, the ever changing um, and growing and progressing modernity nowadays. So working on a particular tool one at a time, at a moment, will actually for sure change, or as designers continually work to upgrade the features or even interfaces or the design, that tool to integrate new concepts or aspects. And so this is actually expected nowadays because of the rise of the use of ICT in the new academic normal. And so that is why knowing a digital tool and its features may not be enough, because there is a tendency of it evolving through time. But as we prepare to become teachers by learning how to utilize these digital tools, you have to have the right mindset or a way of thinking how these tools to use a technology tool in a lesson. There it could be an anxiety to explore, and a possibility can be overwhelming, but for one who has the openness to learn and continuously study the features of the tool, can actually possibly lead to a more productive way of designing a technology enhanced lesson, right? So hold on to that positive attitude and openness to learn. Nurture the curiosity and sustain the passion to improve practice. Okay, and then persevere as you learn to adapt to the evolving digital tools. Okay, once you get the habit of exploring, all right, the tools or the digital tools, perhaps taking one step at a time and expanding your ideas and how to creatively use the appropriate tool in a class, you will actually eventually see your transformation as a teacher who is becoming more relevant and effective in teaching content, while at the same time develop learners capacity to be creative and think critically, and of course and become collaborative and effective communicators in the 21st century. All right, so this must be our mindset to, or this must be our disposition of a modern teacher in the 21st century teachers. Um, It says here that 21st century teachers are not experts in technology, they are experts in the habits of mind. So, technically, if you are going to look into the details of being a modern teacher, a modern teacher chose to be vulnerable, see themselves as co learners, not teachers, and of course, allow themselves to fail often, but don't wait until they're experts to introduce something, but move into their students' worlds, even if it's foreign territory, and of course, run towards their area of weakness, not away from it. Are comfortable not knowing that what is going to happen, invite mistakes into their lives, dream big, and ask why not. Okay, and allow their students to teach each other, of course, and step outside their comfort zone. Are you embracing change? Feel secure asking their colleagues for help, is being humble, no? And model resiliency and perseverance. Question, sometimes you can question why these things will happen, but of course, I would suggest that if when it comes to technology or using technology tool that is new to you, you should ask about the interfaces, about the functions and modalities of the different websites and different applications that is being introduced. And of course, believe they can learn anything and given the right attitude and effort. So all of these things can be associated, or all of these characteristics can be associated to a modern teacher. The question is, are you willing, are we willing to adopt this kind of changes and to adhere to these attitudes, to imbibe or to apply these attitudes and characteristics of a modern teacher to this modern world? Okay, so this is our challenge nowadays, to be adaptive and resilient to changes. And most of the time, how are we going to survive? And in this kind of pandemic, it's actually to be adaptive and resilient to the changes around. Okay, so my takeaways after knowing all of those things. Number one, we have this picture. Number one, change the words, like it's like changing your mindset. Sometimes you could say that I can do this, I can't do this, but rather saying that I can't do this, have it as I can't do it yet. Okay, how about I'm not good at this? Sometimes we refuse to learn this kind of application or these experience. In fact, we are very inquisitive when it comes to um, embracing another set of experiences, most especially in exploring another set of applications. So instead of saying, I'm not good at this, meaning to say you're closing your mind already, how about saying, I can train my brain? Okay, how about if there are times that you felt, or if you feel that you are so tired and you think the applications and the functionalities are being um are so strange to you because it's new to you, if you are thinking that it is too bad for you, how about saying this will take effort and this will take time? Okay, so instead of saying I made a mistake, have it or think of mistakes help me learn things. And of course, lastly, if you have this concept of I'll never be as good, okay, I'll never be as good as sorry, possible, no? You could have said that, okay, you could have said I'll do this, or is this my best work? I mean to say, I think there are instances that you should do your best if you are really entitled. I mean to say, if you are in a situation that you are expected to do so. So sometimes we could think, or you could think of, is this really my best work, or are there possibilities of improving my work still? So if that's the case, maybe we have to recalibrate the way we think and rethink of possible ways of changing our mindset to become adaptive and resilient, and of course, promoting inclusivity in these times of new academic normal. All right. So this is very important for everybody because we are all in, we are all sailing. We are not in the same boat, but we are all sailing. And of course, it gives us strength and, of course, a possibility of knowing everything. I'm so sorry. It gives us a possibility of learning a lot of things and working on the possibility of making small steps and making a positive change in everyday encounter. So hold on for a while. Hold on for a while. All right. So these are just my takeaways in. Okay. So these are just my takeaways in. So that's it for this recorded video. That's it for this recorded video. I hope everyone is well and in good condition. And of course, wherever you